list we're looking at the prefix change rule, where we know the prefix should be in, but it changes to IM if it comes before a B, an M and a P. That's just because it's easier to mouth. So the words we have are imbalance, immature, improper, imperfect, impatient, insecure, indirect, incorrect, incomplete and incapable. So, and this is the in or im at the start of a word is going to change the meaning of the word to an antonym. That means it's going to make the base word mean its opposite. So quite often when we add a prefix to the start of a word, it can change its meaning. So let's have a look at what we've got in these words as well as adding the prefix. The base word is balance, so you've got that A-N-C-E at the end, and once again remember that when you have an E after a C, it's going to make the C make its soft sound S, which is quite common at the end of words. Immature, you've got a short vowel, so we've got two consonants after the short vowel, and mature, ture as in picture. Improper, you've got the on the end, the ER, and you've got the ER in the middle of the word here, imperfect. Impatient, you've got the TI making the sh sound in the middle of a word because we know we can only use SH for the sh sound at the start or end of a short word. Insecure, you've got that URE again at the end, and you've got the C making its kut sound because it's followed with by U. Indirect, you've got the IR for an R-controlled vowel in there. So it's very important you work out and remember which spelling you're using for these different sounds. UR, IR, ER, all making the same sound but different letters, different vowels in each of them. Incorrect, you've got a short vowel, so you're doubling that R, X at the end. Incomplete, you've got the E making the previous E make its long sound. And incapable, because you've got a stop consonant here, you know you always add LE after a stop consonant. A stop consonant means as soon as you say a b, d, g, t, it stops, and that's when we know to add LE. Whereas if it's a continuing consonant like we add EL. So CA because and CO, we're using a C there, not a K, because the letter after it is an A or an O. So if a C is followed, if you've got a kut sound and it's followed by an A, O, U, L or R, you know to use a C before it for the kut sound. Let's go through now and look at what each of these words means. So imbalance means uneven or unequal, disproportionate, a lack of equal, or it just doesn't measure the same. Immature means that someone's babyish or juvenile or naive. They're not yet fully developed. Improper means not an acceptable standard of behaviour. Imperfect means damaged or broken or fragmented. Impatient means someone's hasty or eager, quick to become irritated or restless. Insecure can mean that someone's afraid or anxious or unsure. Indirect can mean wandering or winding or zigzag. Incorrect means something is untrue, wrong, mistaken, false. Incomplete means that something's unfinished, partial or lacking. And incapable means lacking the ability to do something, inept, unable or unfit. Now the most important thing in this list is that you understand the prefix change rule. So the prefix is commonly in, but the prefix change rule says that because it's hard to use in before some words, especially if they start with an M, a B or a P, we're allowed to change the N to an M. So the prefix change rule says we can change in to im if the letter in the first letter of the base word starts with an M, a B or a P. So we've brought that in here when we've got imbalance, immature, improper, imperfect and impatient. Now all the other letters of the alphabet we use in before. So we've got insecure, indirect, incorrect, incomplete and incapable. So in most of these words we're using the common meaning for the prefix, which is not. So in, it could also mean into or not. and im always means not. So we've given you a couple of examples there how they're put together. So what you find is when you add a prefix to a word, you're often changing the meaning of the word to the opposite, especially if the prefix means not. So it's going to form an antonym to what the original base word was. So all you have to do here is rewrite these words on the line and then use a different colour highlighter or colour pencil, to link the meaning to each of these definitions here. Link the word to the definition. Read and fill the gap with the list word. You know how to do that. Then this part is tricky. So insert the list words for the synonyms, then give an antonym. So you've got to work out, these are the synonyms here. You've got to work out which base word goes with those synonyms. Then you've got to find an antonym that goes with those 4 words and write the word here. In this list we're looking at prefixes in and im. In is a prefix, and because of the prefix change rule, we're allowed to change the last letter of the prefix to match the first letter of the base word, if that's easier to pronounce. But in this one, we're actually only changing the last letter of the prefix to an M to make it easier to say before a B, M and P base word. So they both have the same meaning, but it's just a change rule because of that start of the base word. So these words change the base word into its antonym. So it's changing it from its original form into an antonym. It's going to mean the opposite to what it did without the prefix on. So our words are imbalanced, immature, improper, imperfect, impatient, insecure, indirect, incorrect, incomplete and incapable. So rewrite using ly, so we know ly commonly forms an adverb, and then you've got to choose one of those to write a sentence. Complete the table. You've got the list word here, take it back to its base word, quite easy, you've got another set over there. Now add the prefix in or im to create the antonym. So you know what the rule is, you're going to change it to, you're going to use in for most letters of the alphabet, but when the base word starts with a B, an M or a P, you're going to change it to im. So work through that and use 2 of them in a sentence. Make the new words, then use 1 in a sentence so you can work out what those words will become. And then we've got a proofreading passage for you down the bottom where you have to circle the errors and rewrite them correctly on the bottom of the page. So that's telling you there are 8 errors that you have to find. On this page we're looking at some etymology and we're looking at Latin roots. So Latin-based words are often made up of a prefix, a root and or a suffix. So if we know the meaning of the word part, we can often get an idea of the meaning of the whole word. So if you're reading a story and there's a word that you don't know the meaning of, look at the parts of the word and see if you can work out what the meaning is from the parts in the word and also the context around the word. So here we've got match the root to the meaning above, use the sample words to help you. So we've got, here's your root, you've got rupt, you've got some sample words here, rupture and disrupt. So what do you think that rupt means? Does it mean to write, to hear, to break or to look? You could join those, link those with a highlighter to each of those plants. And this one's quite similar, using a different set of root words. Now down here you have to write the word from the word bank. So this is the word bank here beside its definition. So you write them down there and use the roots to help you. So look at the parts within that. So port, what does port mean? You've got some hints up here if you get stuck. So you can look at port and work out what you've linked it to here and what it means and write it next to its definition down here. Now choose 4 of the words on the leaves, any 4 words from there or from the word bank, and you're going to write each one of those 4 words in a sentence. And that's, of course, to show their correct meaning.